Hello, Janet. How are you?
I'm great, Kim. It's nice to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been 2 weeks now. So tell me, how's it going? How you feeling?
I'm feeling good. Feeling a little bit anxious about business plans, but anxious and excited all at the same time.
Well, let's turn that anxious energy into excitement. So I like it. You're on the right track. So that's awesome. Well, tell me, let's start out. Tell me some wins. What has happened in the last 2 weeks that are positive for you?
Okay. Well, I went on three listing appointments last week,
Excellent.
and I ended up signing up two of the listings, which
Wonderful.
which is great. The third, they said they were not ready to list,
Hmm.
and the good news is they haven't listed with anybody else. So I'm going to continue to stay in touch and
Wonderful.
go from there.
Okay, so that's not awesome number. That's awesome news. So 2 out of 3 is great. And yes, I'll be curious to hear how that. Do you know a timeline when they plan to take action?
Well, I'm going to check back with them in the new year because
Oh, in the new year.
actually in our market, end of January, early February, believe it or not, can actually be a really busy market.
Oh, great. Okay,
So
perfect.
I've made a note to follow up with them then.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good news. That is great news. Any other wins you want to share with me, Janet?
Well, that was a big one. That
That's
was
a
a big
huge
one.
one.
And I know next time when I talk to you, I'm going to be able to say that my big win was writing my business plan.
There we go. You're on the right track. Wonderful. Well, let's take a minute. I know that one of our homework assignments from last week was getting into the results app and filling
Yes.
out your numbers. How did that go for you?
It was great. It was eye-opening. I'm glad I have you to keep me accountable because I know it's the right thing to do, but I'm just not good at doing it. So when I have you following up with me and asking if I'm doing it, it keeps me on track. So I really appreciate that.
Oh, great, great. Well, and it's good to keep an eye on your numbers on a daily basis so we know, you can always keep your finger on the pulse of your business. So good. So that's going well. So yes, today's plan we were talking about, as you alluded to, the business plan. So tell me, do you have any questions? I know, let me ask you, did you have it printed off and ready today so we can just.
I have it printed off and ready. It's completely blank. I just need some guidance in terms of where to start. It's quite a big document.
It is a big, did you take a minute to read through the
I
pages?
Yeah, I have read through it, and I actually watched that video, that episode
Perfect.
39 that you recommended. So that definitely
Wonderful.
got me fired up.
Yeah, it's really exciting to see. Tom puts a lot of time and energy into this format, and with good reason. This is a great opportunity for you to start. I know it seems a little daunting, but I know we can get you there. So, all right. Any other questions on the format before we get going here?
No, I think I might have some questions as we go through it, but
Perfect.
no, I think I'm good.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So, with regard to the business plan, now I'm looking at it and I've just got it printed in black and white, but we're going to start on page 1. It's actually page 1. It's the second page in.
Yes.
One of the things that I'd really like to hear from you, Janet, is if you take a look at this pyramid, and this is the mastery in business, I want to understand on each level. So if you start at the bottom, it says interested or committed. I know where you're at. But I'd like
Yes.
to understand if you were to go up on every single level and tell me, how do you feel, where do you feel you score right now? Do you feel like you're a level 10 or maybe a level 8, or maybe it's something new like maybe your systems that you're working on that we had talked about before, maybe you're a 3 or a 4. If you could go through that pyramid and just label, where you're at with each one of them right now. So when we do our plan for 2019 in another year, we'll be able to assess, what improvements you've made. Can you do that for me?
Yeah, sure. So
Wonderful.
lead gen, I think I would be at a 6.
Perfect.
Lead conversion, I would say at a 7. Presentations, I would say a 9. Systems, probably, I'm going to say 5 because I have a lot of systems, but I'm just not good at sticking to them.
Okay, that's a good starting point. Mm-hmm.
And you as I would say 6 in terms of results because I'm not where I want to be yet, but I know
All
I've
right.
got the potential.
Well, that's why we're here working on this together. So perfect. Okay, number 6, we've got room for improvement. So emotions and financials, how do you feel about that?
Well, I'm going to put that as a 6 as well because I feel I feel confident in what I'm doing, but I don't have the discipline yet. So obviously my financials aren't where I need them to be.
Understood. Perfect. Okay. Well, plenty of room for improvement. Even on the 9, I think, we can improve that to a 10. We want you to be level 10 all the way.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
wonderful. Okay. So I'm just going to walk through this in order here. And obviously page 2 is the breakthrough self-analysis. I want you to take time. You don't have to do it now, but over the next 2 weeks, if you'd actually take a look at each piece of the pie, if you will, and then mark, are you poor, fair, good, or excellent? And then, we can take a look at that too. And that would be some projects as we move through the year to see where we could improve and what things we could do to add to this, get you at an excellent rating. The key performance indicators is another thing we're going to come back to, but it all relates together. It all connects. And then we have the vision statement. Let's spend a couple minutes here, if you will.
Okay.
And, have you filled out a vision statement, or have you started thinking about what you'd like to put in these blanks here?
I haven't written anything down. I do have some ideas in my head. So I just really need to shut off all electronics and take some time and put pen to paper and get it written down.
Well, yeah, if you watched the 39 episode with Tom, he does say, just get away, go to someplace beautiful, someplace where you can concentrate, like you say, put the electronics away, and go ahead and spend some time working on your business. So this is a good place where we say, I'm committed to have this year be my best year ever because, and then decide, are you going to make this your best year ever financially, or are you going to focus on your systems and improve it that way? So there's a lot of things, a lot of information you could pour into this. And again, what Tom says is we want to put a lot of emotion in it, make it really meaningful, and make sure that it means something to you. When you look at this, I want you to post this, Janet. This has to be something you see every day. And I want there to be a connection, your why has to be in here.
Okay.
So, do you think you could come up with like 5 areas to master professionally and personally by the next time we talk?
Yes, definitely.
Wonderful. Okay, this is really important. This is what fuels our motivation. This is what fuels our numbers. So cool. All right, so page 5, this is another one. Now this is going to take some time or not, depending on how much information you have from your past years. Now, Tom goes back 1 year in this one that I have, but do you think you'd be able to figure out where your business came from this past year?
Well, I think, I haven't been good at tracking it, but if I just go back and look at my deals, I probably can jog my memory in terms of remembering if I met them at an open house or they came from my database but I haven't been up to date. That's one of the things I'm going to focus on for this year is like really track it as we go through the year.
Okay, very good, very good. So, if you could spend some time doing that, and then that will help you project, what you think you can do, adding to what you have done this year, adding to that for the 2017 goals.
Yeah.
So, and then what needs to change, obviously. So, and then you'll see at the bottom, if you actually use it in like the PDF form, you should be able to see the numbers increase. So you say, okay, I'm going to have, what do we have at the top here? Current client referrals, past client sphere database farm. As you add, 3 into one line, 4 into the next, you'll see that number go 3, 7, and so on. So it's best to try to use it in this PDF format.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and then on page 6, now this is really where the rubber meets the road, because as we talked before, and you're capturing this into your app, the results app. This is where you've been doing the 5-5-4. This is where we determine if that's the right number for you or if we have to raise that.
Okay.
So have you determined how many transactions you'd like to have next year, Janet?
Well, I'd love to do 25. because, and the reason for that is we have a award system at our real estate board, and anybody that typically does more than 25 or more is considered to be in the top 10%.
Okay.
And so you get a special sticker next to your name, and you get to go to this big dinner and all these types of things. So it doesn't matter what your price point is as long as you've done 25 deals or more.
Okay.
Then you get that it's called medallion, and that's really important to me.
The medallion is really important to me. Well, tell me a little more about that. What makes that so important to you?
Because it's just another way to advertise that you're in the top 10%. And I do believe that it helps you get extra business because consumers see you as a top producer.
Okay. So you can use it in your advertising. You can say Janet is a medallion producer, and
yes,
and that means so it means it's. I feel a little emotion here. I mean, is it something that you're really excited about?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
definitely.
Definitely. Well, great. Okay. Well, that might be added to your why as well on your vision statement too. So perfect. So 25 transactions. Oh, our screen froze up for a second here. Are you there, Janet?
Oh, there you are.
Hello. You were frozen in time for a minute. Okay, so 25 transactions.
Yes.
And so what we do is we like to multiply this by 40. Now, if you've watched that show 20 or 39, excuse me, with Tom Ferry, can you tell me what that 40 signifies?
Yes, 40 conversations typically leads to a deal.
Perfect. Okay, so what we do here is we multiply line 1, 25 times 40, and we come up with 1,000. So that sounds a little scary. But what we do, and now in here it actually says right in line 3, it says divide line 2 by 11 months. But you know, Tom has actually said, I think the last summit I went to, he said 10 months is more realistic than the 11 months because of all the things that go on, life in general, vacations, holidays, all of that. So if you were to take this 1,000 and divide it by 10, you come up with 100.
Okay.
Obviously. And then when we go down to the total daily number, we take that 100, divide it by 20, and we come up with 5. Oh my goodness gracious, you're right at 554.
There we go.
There we go. So I was going to put a little extra pressure on you. I know that Tom does like an even number. So one of the things that I always do is add a couple to it, you know, round it up as much as you can. So would you feel comfortable making that one extra call per day to talk to 6 people per day?
Sure. So my 554 will convert to 564.
Exactly. Perfect. Do you feel like that would be a good number to shoot for? What if you were to get 30 transactions this year? I don't know if it could happen, but I mean, that would be something to shoot for.
Yeah, even better.
Even better. Wonderful. Okay, cool. So, so at this point, then you can go down and you can kind of break it down even further. You look at your GCI goal for the year, and then you look at, you know, how many transactions does that represent? So basically, if your goal is, say, 300,000, and you know that your average sale price is, well, you would net a gross commission of, let me see here, say 10,000. So we know that there would be 30 transactions you need. So you'd want to kind of relate that back up to this year's transaction goal. So you might have to tweak these numbers a couple times to make everything connect correctly. But so do you understand how that works, Janet?
Yeah, I get it. I really need to understand what my average commission is, understand how many transactions. Yeah.
Right. And so once you come up with that number, obviously you have to make sure that, you know, your expenses are covered, your home bills are covered, obviously. And then, you know, we did talk about one time that we wanted to have a 50,000 saved aside by the end of next year. So, you know, that has to be factored into it too. So you might raise your goal, and I'm not sure, you know, I haven't worked the numbers entirely, but you might want to raise your goal to 30 anyways, just to get that 50,000 in your account.
Yes.
In your savings account. So all the numbers mesh, but it might take a few rotations, if you will, just to get to this, just to extrapolate down to the number of calls you need to make per day. Okay.
Yep. I'm on board.
On board. Perfect. So, and then if you go to page 7, there's the business plan itself, the big events and quarterly events, excuse me. So basically what we want to see is 1 to 2 projects per month. During your busy season, you might want to do 1. When you have a little lighter period of time, a lighter market that time, that month, you might want to say, okay, I can get 2 projects done. And then you also want to decide, by when. So say if you want a mailing to go out, or if you have an event you want to get scheduled. So for like example, if you want to go to Summit next year, you'd put that in the August block to say, I'm spending a week in, I think it's Anaheim next year. And so you'd want to put that in there and have reservations made by July. So, that kind of a thing. All right. So will you have anyone helping you, Janet? Or are you planning on doing these events yourself? Any assistant in the future for you?
Yeah, that is one of my goals by beginning of Q2 to get an assistant to really help me out with the admin so I can focus on lead generation.
Perfect. I'm very excited to hear you say that. I think that's what you need at this point. So this will need to be filled out as well. And then we talked before, the business expenses. Now, this is something you really want to work through. Probably one of your first pages to get through is the business expenses and your personal expenses, because we have to make sure that our goal relates to what you need to have covered within your business and personal life.
Okay. Yep.
Clear? Okay.
Clear.
Very clear. Very nice. So it's very simple. There's a lot of moving pieces, but it's very simple. Let me ask you, how do you feel about this?
I feel excited about the end result. I feel a little bit uptight about gathering all my expenses. But where I might just start is just look at my tax report from last year to get my business expenses, and just, I don't know, maybe just take a best guess at my personal expenses and just maybe commit to myself to be better at tracking them in the year to come.
In the year to come. Very good. So you said you're a little anxious about this. So do you have you ever done anything like this before, even in your personal finances, or at any point in your life?
Oh, I mean, when I submit my taxes, I'm definitely the one that goes through it all.
Okay.
Creates the spreadsheets and everything. So I'm totally comfortable with numbers. I'm bad at discipline. I'm bad at keeping on top of it. Mm-hmm. But this is good motivation to stay on top of it all the time, so I can always, have my numbers available to me. Understood.
So it sounds like the discipline part is where you might have a little issue. So do you have any role models, or, Tom's big on modeling. Is there anyone you could reference, anyone in your office, any maybe friends or family that might be a good model or a point of reference for developing a discipline to do daily numbers?
Yeah, there's actually some of the guys in my office who are really good. And maybe I can do some accountability with them.
There you go. That might be really interesting to pursue. If you can learn from them, just, and then they're not intimidated by you coming in looking for real estate information. This is just simply tracking your numbers. They might have some good advice for you.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Wonderful. So, Janet, can you schedule a time or date to work through this entire business plan?
Yeah, usually Fridays are my me day.
Okay.
So I can definitely schedule some time then.
Okay. So do you feel comfortable putting it in your calendar to make sure that happens, to get that time away from your electronics?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm pretty motivated to do this.
Well, how can I help you be accountable to getting this done? What can I do for you, Janet?
Well, maybe if you just give me some homework assignments. I know we're not talking for 2 weeks.
Yes.
But if there's something that you want me to send you by next week, I'll make sure that I get it done.
Perfect. Yes, there is an order to the madness here. So what I'd like to do is, yes, we have 2 weeks, but if you could focus on page 1.
Yes.
Page 4, page 5, and 6, that would be a start.
Okay, page 1, page 4, page 5, page 6. Yep, got it.
Actually, you know what? You've already given me one. I have that, so don't spend any time on that. So then I would say check out your numbers for your personal and your business expenses. Let's focus on that part first, because I think that might be the hardest part for you based on what you've been telling me. So if you focus on that first and then go to page 4, 5, and 6. So does that feel fair to you?
That sounds good.
Wonderful. Okay, well, Janet, we've had a great call. I think we had made a lot of progress. Do you feel good about it?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome. Well, I am too. So it's very good to connect with you. I look forward to talking to you in another 2 weeks.
That sounds great.
All right, I'll look for that email though.
Yes, okay, I've got it written down.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.